progress.
Good evening and welcome. We have Spanish interpretation available for tonight's meeting.
Buenas noches y bienvenidos. Tenemos servicios de interpretación al español disponible para la reunión de esta noche.
I'm going to review the steps to select the Spanish interpreted audio feed and then activate the functionality.
Ahora voy a revisar los pasos para activar el canal de audio en español y luego activaré la interpretación.
I will let you know when the interpretation is active.
Yo le dejaré saber cuando la interpretación estará activada.
If you're on the computer, please press the globe interpretation button that will appear shortly and then select Spanish.
En su computadora, oprima el globo de interpretación que aparecerá brevemente en la parte inferior y escoja español.
You may also mute the original audio feed by selecting that option so you only hear the Spanish interpretation.
Usted también puede enmudecer el audio original y al hacer esta selección solamente oirá la interpretación al español.
If you are on the phone, please touch the three dots and then touch more.
Si en su celular, oprima los 3 puntos y después apriete más.
Then touch the interpretation option with the globe, select Spanish, and you may choose to mute the original English audio source by selecting that option.
Luego oprima la opción del globo de interpretación, seleccione español y después usted podrá escoger enmudecer el audio original en inglés haciendo esta selección.
I'm going to activate the Spanish interpretation now. Please join the Spanish audio channel if you would like Spanish interpretation.
Ahora voy a activar la interpretación al español. Favor unirse al canal de audio en español si desea interpretación al español.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning into the first of 2 community input sessions for the naming process of our newest elementary school, currently referred to as Rosemount Lewis Elementary School. My name is Matthew Townsend. I'm the supervisor of CIP and land acquisition for Prince William County Schools, and I'm the staff facilitator for the naming process on behalf of the naming committee. We have our 3 naming committee members present on tonight's meeting. We have Chairman Latif, Vice Chair and Gainesville District School Board Member, Ms. Wall, and Brentsville District School Board Member, Ms. Jackson. We also have a number of panelists participating in the meeting this evening, including Kelly Stroud, the principal of Rosemount Lewis Elementary School, Dave Beavers, Supervisor of Planning and Financial Services, and Atanya Allen, Administrative Coordinator for Facility Planning. Would the naming committee like to make any opening statements to start the meeting off? Dr. Latif?
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate the opportunity to
participate. So this evening, I'm just going to be silent, and I actually have to sign off a little bit soon. But I want to thank all of you for the work you're doing, and we appreciate the input, and we will take this under full consideration. Thank you very much.
Ms. Jackson?
I just want to say I'm thankful for all the work behind the scenes to prepare for tonight's input session. And thank you to the hard work of the Office of Facility Services and to our contractors. From the outside, when I drive around it, the school looks amazing. I'm thankful to Ms. Stroud and all of her hard work thus far to prepare the school to open next year. And it is my sincere hope that we will find a name that derives from the community. And I'm excited to hear some of the suggestions tonight. And thank you to all those who are here tonight. And please share with your neighbors how to provide community input, either through another naming input session or through the portal that I'm sure will be discussed tonight. So thank you. And I will also be just here listening. Thanks.
Ms. Wall?
Thank you very much. It's great to be here tonight. I want to thank everybody who worked so hard on bringing this meeting into being, and all of the staff for helping us out with this naming input committee meeting. I know I'm also very excited for this school to open, and I know the community is also very excited, and the school looks amazing. So it'll be wonderful to have a name, and then we'll be able to move forward with the additional planning. And yeah, I'm just really thankful for the opportunity to be here tonight and appreciate everybody. Thanks.
Great, thank you all. So tonight I'm going to give a brief presentation to overview the naming process, discuss the policy and regulation that apply, and then discuss upcoming key dates. After that, we will turn it over to the community feedback portion of the meeting, where you will be able to provide your naming suggestions and your naming input directly to the naming committee. Policy 854 calls for the creation of a naming committee and specifies that the naming committee's responsibility is to create naming recommendations, and that the ultimate approval of the school name lies as a responsibility of the entire school board. Regulation 854-1 stipulates the composition of the naming committee to include the chairman at large, Dr. Latif, the member whose district that the new facility is located within. Rosemount Lewis is located within the Brentsville magisterial district, so that's Ms. Jackson, as well as any school board member whose magisterial district is overlapped by the attendance area of the new facility. In this case, Rosemount Lewis attendance area overlaps a portion of Gainesville magisterial district, so we have Ms. Wall. This regulation also requires at least one community input meeting, and then that we collect electronic submissions from the community regarding the naming. Regulation 854-1 also provides some non-exclusive naming criteria for the naming committee to consider as it's drafting its recommendations. These include geographic elements, historical items or significance, as well as names of living or deceased persons who have made significant service contributions, with a notation that if a name, selection preference shall be given to those individuals who have made significant contributions to the field of education, especially within Prince William County. The naming process started last Wednesday, March 15th, as we presented the naming process to the full school board in an information item. The next step is our 2 virtual community input sessions, the first of which is occurring right now. The second community input session is next week, same time, 7 p.m. on March 29th, and that will be held on Zoom as well. The naming committee will present its recommendations to the full school board as an information item at the April 19th school board meeting. And the school board is scheduled to vote on the new name at the May 3rd school board meeting. Outside of speaking at the meetings I just mentioned, throughout the entire process, all the way until noon on Tuesday, May 2nd, so that's the day before the scheduled action item, you may leave a written suggestion through our electronic form, which you can access by this QR code on the screen. Additionally, you can make verbal suggestions by calling and leaving us a voicemail at 703-791-7313. All the suggestions, no matter how they're made, will be compiled and provided regularly to the naming committee. This information can also be found on our PWCS website. Here we have some pictures of Rosemount Lewis taken this winter. It is approximately it's 3 stories and just over 129,000 square feet. You can see here it's a great looking building. It's just as great looking inside. Our construction team has been doing a really great job, and we're excited for how it's progressing. And most importantly, we're well on track to open up for the upcoming 23-24 school year. Typically at this point, I would review the guidelines for citizen comment time. However, nobody signed up in advance to speak at this meeting, so I thought I would share some of the suggestions we've collected through our online form. As of this morning, we had 47 suggestions made, with the following suggestions receiving more than 1 submission: Ashton Elementary, Barack Obama Elementary, Crestwood Elementary, Rosemount Lewis Elementary, and Stephen Volz Elementary. At this time, even though we didn't have anybody sign up to speak in advance, we would like to open the floor to our attendees. If you would like to speak, we can provide 3 minutes for you to make your naming suggestions and provide any applicable information directly to the naming committee. If you would, and you're interested in that, just select the raise hand feature, and we will unmute your mic and allow you the opportunity to share. All right, not seeing any hands. That's all right, because there's still another opportunity to share and speak it at a community input session next week. So that's our next step. Our next step is that second community input session held next Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And on this slide, we provided a number of QR codes for several important and easy to access points and information. We have more information on the process at the first QR code. You can register to attend the second community input session. We made it easy to find a sign up to speak and request language accommodations for the second community input session. And then another QR code for our form to leave written naming suggestions. And again, even though we didn't have anybody speak tonight, we've received 47 pieces of feedback, and that information is shared directly with the naming committee as they work to come up with their naming suggestions. With that, that concludes our presentation for the naming input session tonight. We thank you very much for your attendance, and please help, as Ms. Wall said, and Ms. Jackson said as well, please share this information with your community and in your network. We would love to see more input and more participation at the next community input session. So we encourage you to sign up to speak and share your suggestions directly with the naming committee. With that, have a great evening, everybody, and take care.